Howdy doody, good friends, and welcome to the Mad Painter Show. What area in your life do you feel like you're failing? We're about to change all that because ain't nobody got time for that. So first, we're going to analyze how do we succeed in failing? Number one, negligence. I mean, it may not be number one in the category, but it's just in this number right now. We have negligence. Number two, not feeling like it, pushing it off to the side. Number three, distractions of our own choosing. Now, I put of our own choosing because sometimes there are certain distractions that are needed, that are purposeful, that are beneficial. But then we have distractions of our choosing that have absolutely nothing to do with our life, our purpose, our relationships, and really helping us and what it is that we're trying to do, unless it is we're trying to succeed in failure, and then there you have it. And so we have whatever number I was, getting too comfortable. Now, in multiple videos back there, I got to talking about how getting too comfortable can do some things to you that you get lazy. It's a whole bunch of promises that come along with you get lazy, because when we get too comfortable, lazy is kind of getting too comfortable's friend, and they be shaking up on the couch together like, bro, yeah, you good? Remember them drug commercials? That's a poor visual of that. But at the same time, I mean a visual of what it was that they were trying to sell in that commercial. That's not what we're talking about right now. But that the visual of them 80s, 90s drug commercials where people are just stuck and not doing, that's what laziness brings you. If laziness was a drug, that would be the commercial for it right back then and there. So if we want to achieve excellence, we got to go above average. So for my school people, I could tell you how to finesse the crap out of school, even though this is not what this video is about, but this plays a part in it because you have the whole grading scale. You have the A to the F. And you know, A is supposed to be whatever A is supposed to represent, because we're not looking to stop at A. We're looking to get that A plus, 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 plus. So even though I wasn't a failure in high school, when I tell you I despised school, it was by the grace of God that I was actually physically present there. Now, mentally on a whole other thing, I was not there. I wasn't there. So I knew how to be there good enough to pass school because I hated school so much. Sis wasn't doing that over again. It was just like, if we got to ease our way up out of here and just be like, we made it. That's, hey. But once I've gone through so long of undergrad, I figured out how to finesse school. So with the whole average, because we're not looking to go to average, but I'm just giving you an example of average. If this is all you want to give out, and this is why, you know, I'm just starting this at the super beginning with the average, because we're looking to go to excellence, but you know, I'm just going to give you the little tidbit of average so you can see where we're progressing to, evolving from, so to speak. So at this average, when I was in school and I just wanted to, you know, get the average, what I did was I showed up, made sure I had some type of attendance, because you wasn't about to call my mama. My mama wasn't about to get in my behind talking about how come I wasn't in school. Ain't nobody got time for that, because I was not doing school over again, and I wasn't about to be on punishment, and I wasn't about to get no whooping. I don't know if y'all know something about that, but I do. And I wasn't about to keep getting it. And I felt like I was too old, and it was like, but she was not too old to give me them hands, prayer-wise, deeds-wise. So as long as I attended school, man, I'm good. I'm there. You see my face. You better mark my attendance here. So, you know, I kind of somewhat did homework. I barely turned it in on time, but I did my homework. I just be kind of, just as long as it was done. Like, I didn't really care if I always had the right answers. A lot of times I copy off, like, what you get for number 3? Because I got something else. But you said you got what? So it was just like, let's just get through this. Let's get out of here because I'm ready to go. But By the time I got to my master's, no, I jumped too fast. By the time I got to my bachelor's, because I'm telling you, I don't like school. It was by the grace of God. Because a lot of people don't understand this. It's by the grace of God that I made it through. I endured and I kept it going because I learned this whole excellence thing in the master's program. But anywho, and it ain't got nothing to do with the master's program or school. So anywho, I was in bachelor's. And once I got to bachelor's, it was just like, okay, because I got tired of, you get to a certain point in school where you can't get C's. So I had to do a little bit better. So then it got to a point I got tired of, the pressure of last minute doing stuff. I got tired of the consequences that came with if I was late and this, that, and another, because consequences are higher in college than it is when you're in high school. So it's like, oh man, I gotta step my game up. So at first I started just stepping my game up a little bit, but then it was like, man, this whole art thing is like really starting to, put a little pressure on me. So I gotta do my art thing, but it's like, I'm already in school. How am I gonna do this thing? So it came to a point, go above and beyond. So it's like, I got to a point and it is like you have to start from somewhere because this is where this is moving on to. Get it in your head to go above and beyond. So I'm in here, I'm in getting my bachelor's and I'm working on it. And at the time I was getting my bachelor's in teaching. And it was like, this isn't working for me. And sometimes you have to realize you don't necessarily have to quit the journey, but you might have to quit the direction you're going in because maybe you're going in the wrong direction. It may not necessarily be the wrong direction because even though you're not going in the direction that you feel like you should be going, you're still learning something on that particular journey, even if you change your mind and go back and go another way. But don't quit on the journey. Sometimes you just got to change the path. But don't quit on a journey. So I left teaching because teaching wasn't my thing. And what really upset me with teaching was, one, being a kid from the hood and I hated school. And it's like, but you're not helping me make no money though and help me get up out of the hood and this whole going to school thing. And that a lot of that really depends on different schools, your teachers, et cetera, et cetera. But I was blessed with some great teachers at community college. So don't ever knock a community college. So anyway, but by the time I'm getting my bachelor's, I'm at a Chicago State University. So I'm going there. I'm working on taking care of my business and actually putting the work in, going ahead of time and turning stuff in ahead of time so I can have time to do my artwork, because now my artwork started taking more importance over school, but I didn't want to lax on school. What do we talk about? Our number one, and how do we want to succeed in failure, is negligence. So I didn't want to be negligent on my art or negligent on school, because it's like art is more of a lifetime. This is a part of me. School is like, bro, we got to get the F up out of here. And I didn't mean, just take the language. I just used A, B, C, D, E, F. So, and going to my master's, and because it took me some years in between my bachelor and my master's, because I had to go on the spiritual walk with God. And actually going on this spiritual walk with God and going to before I went to psychology school, man, psychology school was such a mind screw. And I mean, if you were looking at assignments, I don't know why I'm going into depth with this, but it's a part of it. If you're looking at some of these things and your emotions are involved with, you'll never get it finished with the assignment. So it got to a point where it was like, what is it that you want to hear? Okay, I'm going to give you everything you want to hear, but a little bit of extra, because what's going to help me get that A, baby, because we're about to get up out of here. So anyway, we are in a place where this is not a thing where we're going to school and we're doing this excellence, because that's why I went through that whole school information, baby, because we're not going through this thing and we're going to be excellent so we can get our diploma. Man, them little pictures right there on the wall, them certificates. And let me tell you, man, screw all them diplomas, certificates, etc. I mean, I got them so I can do what I need to do for the people who need paperwork. But this is where the spiritual walk came in, is because I don't need paperwork for that. But I need God's approval. And so in going through these different processes and making up my mind, you know what, Lord, you've given us this spirit of excellence. I've been listening to these people. They're talking about applying this excellence and actually going through this path and doing it. I mean, school was one thing because that was like a temporary application of pressure because I had a shorter time period. I had deadlines. But then when this is becoming your being, this is for a longer period of time. This is not, we got like 2 years for this, we got 4 years for that, and then this excellency stuff is done. No. See, in going through this move, this is about being, having. No. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Being, doing, having. And observing this saying for over the past 4 years, I've been paying attention to people who have been focused on, if I just do this, I can have this. But then for the rest of your life, you're going to be trying to figure out who you are. And because you skipped the being part and went straight to the doing and having. And this is the whole thing, even with the American dream. They get you focused on, if you do this, you can have this. If we're looking at the people who, and this is another reason, I'm sorry, my mind is just going. This is another reason why I'm constantly talking about God, because I do understand how some of the things that may come on TV, some of the posts that you may see on social media, is not really painting God in such this beautiful, loving light, because they don't know him. They only focused on the doing and having, but they neglected the being. And the being comes in when you connect with the Creator and ask him about your being. He made you in such a way, in such this loving way. He wants this relationship. And I mean, we all out here looking for, I want somebody to love me. I need somebody to do this and do that. Start this stuff with self, with God. Develop this relationship with God, because he is the one that's going to change your being into this excellency. But you know, if you one of them people that you got to hear what it is that we need to be doing, this is what we're talking about, because it does take part of this doing to shift the being. Know what I'm saying? Okay, we all know what I'm saying. So, what we need. So these are the prerequisites. I got the words right this time. So since I'm talking about school and a school situation, because there are certain things that you need in order to go to the next level. Well, we're looking to go to the next level, even though it don't look like we have nothing now. We started off with nothing. Guess what? You are qualified for where we're going right now. But these are what we need, you know, just in case if you want to hear it. Okay, so you need one. I'm not even about to go through the numbers. Skip it. You need desire to change, because when you have this desire to change, you hungry. You want this. I realize there is a little bit difference of being hungry and thirsty, and then in God, Christ being this, he provides your thirst. But then when you out here on these streets and you hungry, it's like a savageness with it's this thing is layered. But this is something that you want so bad that you're willing to make these moves. So willingness to start. I mean, you have the desire. You can wish and want all day long with this desire, but if you're not willing to make these moves, excuse me, your mind made up to seek it out. So you can have the desires. You could be hoping and wishing and praying all day long. But if you're not willing to start, and here you have the willingness to start, because that's what's going to get your stomach growling and you really get the hunger for it. So when you have this willingness to start, and it's just like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to actually make time for this and get to making them moves. The other one is action. Now, we done did all the other stuff, but if you're not making them moves and applying these things, Because you have this desire, you have the willingness, your mind is made up. Okay, your mind is made up. Let's actually put some action towards that. If your mind is made up to make changes, then get towards to making the changes. Keep it going over and over and over again. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Now, I know what I just gave you sounds super basic, because it is. And I want you to keep in mind that even though these tasks that you may be starting to do, and that is something different, and it is a pressure that you got to apply to yourself, baby. You want it, apply that pressure. You know what I'm saying? Apply that pressure. So this is a thing where you're willing to do this. You're willing to make these changes, and you're willing to do whatever it is, because it's simple, but you got to be making it moves, because it's, and actually putting the action in. It's like, oh, I feel like getting up today. Yep, no, make yourself do it. Apply this pressure. So one thing, after we go through this video in its entirety, I want to, and I don't even know if I ever heard it from you or not, but even with yourself, I want you to hear yourself say, I never want to hear you ever again say in your life, I'm bored. I don't have anything to do. Because if you hear yourself saying that, you're not applying pressure to your destiny. You're not applying pressure to your purpose. Because if you're sitting there bored with nothing to do, baby, let me tell you so much. Let me tell you how this excellency will have you working on so much. When it's time for you to rest, you're going to want to sit there and be bored and not do nothing, because you got something to do every single daggone day. You are on a mission. Okay, let me get back. I went in there because I want you to feel that energy. Because, man, this is what we own. We are on this mastering self-love, and this is part of mastering self-love. And how we get into this, because we have to make up our mind. We have to be willing to make the steps. You done made up your mind plenty of times. Cut it off. I'm tired of this. I don't do this no more. I'm tired of hearing this person's mouth. I'm tired of it. So it's like, it's parts of yourself that you got to be so tired of, that you're willing to make these changes every single day. You heard what I'm saying? Are you visualizing this thing as I'm talking to you, and you see yourself like, yes, I see my best self just riding along with the daisies on my horse. I was just giving you the visual. Okay, so let's focus forward. So once you tap into this excellency, you won't have time to ever think like that, because you will have purpose, mission every single day, something to do, because you have to. I was just reminded a couple of days ago, like, remember when we started this like a couple of years ago, and it was like, yes, the spirit of excellency. Did you forget that? It was like, I sure did. But for the past 3 days, it didn't have me like, oh, we back on this. Because we remember what we achieved when we did that first little thing. And it was just like this little bit of level of achievement. But it was like, it's showing you what you could do when you stay on your mission, when you stay focused, when you stay mission-minded. You know what I'm saying? You're learning. We're having fun. This is an enjoyable moment. We're doing great things here. Okay, I'm staying focused. So the thing that we want to pay attention to is starting off here, because if we're focused on excellency, there is an order that goes on here. And so before we get to anything in order, we got to clean up the chaos. So we are looking at our spaces here and getting our spaces decluttered. Now, if you want to look further into how to declutter your mind, I have another YouTube video. Just scroll through there. I have how to declutter your mind. That goes more into detail. This I would just be going into briefly for the sake of, because we're talking about something else. But that part, it goes more into depth into how to declutter your mind, why you want to, etc., etc., etc. So you must make space. The reason why we're making this space in our mind and in our space, because this is a part of our mind. Little do you know, our environment is very much so part of our mind. So we are making space for our creative self, for our self that needs inspiration, for our self that needs an answer, for our self that needs clarity, for our self that needs to receive something that we're feeling like we're lacking. Let's make space and get rid of the crap. So we need to make room for our vision to come. And for us to make room for our vision to come, to kind of stop all of this going, we have to stop giving our eyes somewhere to roam. And because the minute our eyes are roam, when our room is cluttered and there's mess everywhere, our minds are constantly looking at priorities, things that we need to do. And while this is showing, because we're my mind is we're working on tunnel vision. And when we are tunnel vision, our eyes are focused on what it is that we need to be paying attention to. Like in a movie theater, when you are in a movie theater, the entire room is totally dark and the only light that's really there is what's on the screen. Because you're not really focusing on anything back here on the side. Your focus is to be up here. So that is how our mission is, where our excellency is. And the reason why I'm saying our mission and not specifying this thing, because what are your interests? What is it that you want to know about? What are the things that you feel that you could share with the world? You know, that's what this is about, is you finding out your purpose. But there's this simple little basic blueprint that I'm talking about right now, that whatever it is, that if you apply these things to whatever your interests are, you may start off from the bottom, but you're going to be going from top to top to top to top to top to top, because this top never stops. It's just a life going thing. This is why you're not doing this to achieve a certificate or a degree or just money or whatever. You are doing this to change your being. Because when you do that, that creates a ripple effect to many, many others. Okay, so so intentionally prepare your mind and your area for a place of peace. Because when we have peace, we're able to receive the things that we need to see, hear, experience, whatever. Because if we're blinded, I know you heard of blind anger. It's another word for it, but that's kind of just what came to me at the moment, and I'm just not about to think about it real hard. But we can have this blind rage, this blind anger with whatever passion, because passion, I see it like a fire, and that could be something sexual, something angry, something that is creating this heat sensation inside of your body, and it's like, ooh, what's that heating thing? And it's got you focused on the wrong thing. Because even though this is heating you up and it's having these passions going on, it's like, is this passion that's geared towards my purpose? So another thing I did, and this is not part of my notes, what I also find out, get to a spot. And this is coming from my psychological point of view, my therapist point of view. Get to a point of really being real with yourself, because the first thing that came to my mind was fetish. And you may like something in particular, and something that's like, oh, wow, I like that. You know what? I'm not even going to go on you. I'm going to go on me to give me for a perfect example, because I have this skull and snake on my arm. And a lot of people will look at that as being demonic. And I'm not going to get into that. But you want to know what it is that you're really interested in. Know the difference between when something is perverted and when something it is. It's natural. This is what it is. God made this for a reason. Sex, for one of the things, because I'm discussing passion and fire and heat and this, that, and the other. Sex is something that is natural. When you're using it in the wrong way, when it's being perverted, being to overpower somebody, being to sell somebody's body into prostitute or the sex slave or something like that, is not what it was made for. But it can be used for something beautiful, etc., etc., etc. So I went off into that because sometimes we will look at our interests like, oh my gosh, so many people told me that was disgusting, so I kind of shied away from it. But in reality, I really, 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 really like it. Okay, find out about it. Don't keep listening to what everybody else got to say about you. Find out what God has to say about you. He made all this stuff, all the stuff that people be like, this is weird, this is demonic, this is this, that, and the other. Ask God about it, because you want to be confident in where you stand. And this is another part of this mastering self-love and this becoming this excellency. Okay, this video is going. Let me keep going. So you want to purposely start making time for these things. I totally went off somewhere else. And this starts this very night. So I know a lot of things start like in the morning when we first wake up, we do this, that, and the other. You want to make up your mind before you go to bed what you're planning on doing that morning. So it's like, but when we go into bed, we are purposely putting our mind to work. So, and it's not like you're putting your mind to work where you can't go to sleep, but it's already like, okay, first thing in the morning, we're going to do this. So it starts off with the very night deciding to be excellent. Preparing for the morning, getting your things ready the night before, training your mind to wake up ahead of time, ahead of your normal schedule. So I'm saying this an example because with this whole school situation, it used to be a time I had to be awakened by an alarm. When I tell you, I hate the way that feels because I'd be knocked out. I kind of wake up and look at the time and go back to sleep. And it's like, what the heck? And so I choose, and still you have to find out what's for you. I started making myself get in the habit of, okay, I want to get up at this time. I want to set, because if I need to be ready and up at this, I want to get up at this time so I have enough time to prepare myself for the day. I set my mind clock to 2:32, whatever. Sometimes I'll wake up on that time a few minutes before. Sometimes I'll wake up a couple of hours before and I'll be wide awake and the Lord will be like, you know what time it is, my child. Like, okay, I'm ready. Thank you. Okay, so making your mind up to go to bed at a certain time and awareness of your screen time. Now, there is, because I'm paying attention to how long this video is going, there is a Google search that you can go into as far as the, it's like a light rhythm system, circadian rhythm system. I can't remember what that is right now, but it has a lot to do with how bright a light is in connection, or how much light you're exposed to before you go to bed, or how much time you're exposed to this light before you go to bed. And doing this a little bit of this study in psychology school, it showed that if you watch so much time of this, like right before you go to bed, you'll have a hard time sleeping, have a hard time resting. But if you cut it off like 10, 15 minutes before you go to bed, it's better for you. I'll up you one better because we're working on excellence. Before you go to bed, use that time instead of scrolling on social media and putting the crap that's on there allowed to be put on your mind, so your mind can be working you instead of you working your mind. That's what we're talking about all this, because you're putting your mind in training. All that crap when your mind is being overworked and so forth and so on. No, this is whipping your mind into shape, because we are working towards excellence, and there's a work that needs to be put in. Because I read how you can succeed in failure. Well, it's easy, but we are actually applying pressure to our purpose. So we want to be aware of our light time, and instead of using the social media light time, get a book, read something. Do a prayer, do the word of God, do meditate before you go to bed, whatever, and put that on you before you go to bed. And the same when you wake up, the thankfulness, the fill your cup. Fill your cup before you go to bed and fill your cup when you wake up. Set this on purpose. Actually make time. You make time for shows, you make time to see somebody. Make time, because this is an investment for yourself. And when you are building yourself for excellency, your cup is going to run over, not just in your job and relationships, with a community, and with it grows. He can show you better than I can tell you. So putting our mind to work while we're resting. This putting our mind to work while we're resting is prayers, word of thankfulness, your purpose in mind, your body being healed, etc., etc., etc. And then I mentioned as far as making space in your head. Because, and as far as making space in your head, guys, we have to make time for silent time. I did not want to pass that up. If you don't make time to be in quietness, to be in nature, to actually really fill your cup up. So just as we're scheduling all these other things and making these appointments because we're on purpose, you also must schedule in time each week to take a rest, to have a break, to make time. Because this is what's really going to fill your cup so that you can keep going and being consistent. So being consistent in this journey, and it will overflow in your interest. So whatever it is that you're interested in, wherever you are working at, or at school at, or wherever you are right now, make up your mind right now to put in excellence, to actually start learning more, whatever it is that you're interested in. Even at your job, learn how to be a better servant at your job. I don't care if you're just sweeping the floor. I guarantee you, if you learn how to master your job of sweeping the floor and learn how to do more than what you're paid for, more than what people are looking for, because this is not your goal is to get accolades or to get paid. You're looking for this to be your being. So when you start applying these little techniques into your everyday, whatever it is that you're doing, you will start noticing the difference even in yourself. And these changes will start coming with a change in your word, a change in your time, a change in your habits and how you going about doing things. Because you're going to be more on top of stuff just applying these little things to your everyday life and the stuff that you're doing right now. You can make these changes. I love you guys. God loves you even more. You can experience him in his Master and Self-Love class. Please check out any of my other videos, because this is all about mastering self-love, how to go about this life and doing it and being better at living. I love you guys. God loves you even more. Check out the Wix link if you're interested in the Mastering Self-Love class. Check out any of the artwork. If you have any questions, please ask me whatever questions you want to ask. And if you would comment below, and if you would like for me to discuss anything specifically, hey, this is what I'm here for. This is a safe space. I love you guys. God loves you even more. Find out why. He could show you better than I could tell you.